This is President Jason Wright, and you're listening to Rambling About Washington.
Tonight, I'd like to welcome on to the Rambling About Washington podcast, Olivia Garvey from ABC News sports anchor. How you doing right now, Olivia?
I'm good. It's a little bit crazy right now. But football season's back. So it's the best kind of craziness you can ask for. Football season is crazy, but it's so much fun and I'm ready for the season to start. So it's good. Everything's good. How are you?
I'm great right now. I'm ready to go to FedEx tomorrow to actually go back to a football game where there's people in attendance.
Let's do it.
I know, this is crazy. Like, we're finally getting to some sense of normalcy. Just when it felt too normal, though, COVID had to humble us just a little bit. But
I think it's always going to sneak in there at some point.
Oh,
hopefully
yeah.
not. Hopefully it doesn't sneak in too much with our Washington football team. So.
Oh yeah. At some point we're gonna have to get a grip on this shit. But until then,
no, for sure. Yeah. I mean, hopefully. I hope this season is as normal as it gets for now.
Oh yeah, my first. Fingers crossed. This is my first season as a season ticket holder, and I'm trying to be at everything.
Congratulations. That's awesome. That's a big
yeah.
step in a fan's, in a fan's time. So that's real. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's really fun right now. Everything's good. Like Richmond, I was down there the whole week, just like y'all were. What were the vibes like for you in Richmond? Because they were immaculate for me.
You know what? That's the best way to describe it. I mean, it was my first training camp. It was my first time covering an NFL team during training camp. And I have to say, and I've said this multiple times, the Washington football team is such a well-oiled machine at training camp. Everything was just perfectly set up. It was so smooth. I think Ron Rivera was super happy with how everything went. I mean, yeah, we had some COVID-19 issues, and that was expected. But other than that, I mean, what a good vibe. Every day was something really fun to cover. This team is really fun to cover. It was hot, and there was some weather that really got in the way. But you know what? We had so much fun. That didn't matter for us. We had great coverage, and, seeing all of you guys, the fans there, that was so much fun for all of us because, especially for me, I hadn't been around the fans yet. That was my first time really interacting with Washington football fans, and I loved every second of it. So it was great. Loved the vibes there.
Hey, it was awesome that the media, the executives, the staff, everybody, since we couldn't really go near the players, it was nice that we had access to all of you. You guys are just walking around and talking to us. I met you a couple of times. I definitely bothered you a couple of times. Hey, my podcast.
No. You guys never bother me. Like, it is so fun interacting with you guys because you guys are a part of this team and you haven't been able to do that this past year. So I love seeing everybody.
Oh yeah, it was great to be back. And you, first of all, the words you saying it was a well-oiled machine, you don't understand how scarce that is in this town. Like, I'm a 29-year-old fan. I was born the year we won our last Super Bowl. I've seen no relative success at all my entire life as a fan here. And not only have we been not good, we stay in the headlines, and it's usually like a circus around these parts. So to hear someone say that, it's such a refreshing perspective. And I'm so glad to hear it. It's music to my ears.
Oh my gosh. Bless all your hearts, because I mean, I started here on June 1st of 2020 during the pandemic. So that was really fun. And then I got so lucky to be a part of this during the pandemic too. But the first 6 months of covering this team, there was no sleep for Scott Abraham and I. I mean, because it was the name change and then all the controversy and
scandals.
And the scandals. And my first thought was, wow, this fan base is going through hell and back. I mean, I can't imagine what you guys are feeling, but now, you got Coach Ron Rivera, you got this team, and I'm just so happy for all of you.
Hey, how was that transitioning from your hometown hometown news station coming to the DMV? And did you know what you were getting into when you signed up for, or were you just ready to go?
No, as you can tell on my face, no, I was not prepared for all of that went down in June and July and August and, September. And then it tried to kind of cool down during the season. But no, I was not, no. I mean, but you know what? It's kind of like a blessing in disguise, with the name change and, not the controversy and not all of that went down, but, all this stuff with, the Washington football team, it kind of picked me up on my feet and said, okay, you're in big time now. Like you need to step up, that you're not in market, 147. You're in a market here with some big teams that
Nation's
have
capital.
Yeah. With some big issues sometimes. And it made me a better reporter. And you never want that stuff to happen to a sports team. You never want them to go through what you guys have gone through. But as a reporter, I mean, it really got me on my feet and said, okay, look, this is now what you're a part of. You better put your big girl pants on and be the reporter you want to be. So it actually kind of made me better in a sense. And now, I mean, I love covering all of your guys' teams here. It is so much fun.
Yep, but it's nothing like covering that Washington football team, formerly known as the Redskins. That's a whole different animal. It's a monster, but you know what? To see it develop the way that it has this past year, I mean, that's what's been rewarding, and I'm sure it has been rewarding for all of you guys. Oh, okay. And you were in LA most of your life, right? Or all of your life, right?
So I was born in LA, and then we moved to Utah, and then we moved back to California in the Palm Springs area. And so, I'm a California girl.
Okay. California girl through and through. So what's the difference in a sports town? Don't get yourself killed by your hometown or by the locals here, but what's the difference between the sports fanaticism and the West Coast and over here?
There's not. I don't see a big difference at all. You guys live and breathe your sports teams. So does Los Angeles. I mean, there is not a big difference. I mean, because, in LA and here, there are these same sports in both areas. And, you got your hockey, you got your football. LA has 2 football teams. You got your baseball, you got your MLS soccer, you have, women's basketball, women's soccer. It's all the same. And like I said, you guys live and breathe your sports teams. And that's why I got so lucky to get picked up to come here to DC, because I knew it was going to be similar in a sense of how fans work and how they think. So I don't see a big difference. I honestly don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I respect that.
Y'all are great everywhere.
Oh yeah. Y'all, that was a nice, safe answer, but
yes,
I know you bleed Dodger blue, obviously it's in your blood, but that's why I made sure I wore my National League champion shirt, because I know
I respect it. I respect it. You guys won fair and square. You guys, Washington worked their butts off that year. So fair and square, you guys won. You can say ass if you want to on this show. Yeah. I'm just saying. I know that Howie Kendrick bomb still gives you nightmares. Yes. And when it gets brought up, I get upset, but that's okay. We're going to move on from this. We're going to move on from this discussion. I'm not going to cry like I did that night.
Sounds like many nights here as a Washington football fan, but it's all good. You got us back. You closed the deal for Max Scherzer and Trey Turner, and you took some of our best talent away. So, I guess we can call it sweet revenge, but let's move on to the Washington football team.
Yeah, let's do it.
The Making the Brand episode that dropped featuring, yours truly was in it, by the way.
I spotted you in a second. I was like, wait a second, I'm doing an interview with that guy this week.
What did you think of that video, the series, and how they're handling the rebrand so far?
Oh, I think it's genius. I think that that series, Making the Brand, is such a good idea, because Jason Wright is doing a phenomenal job at really making you guys feel included on the process, as it should be. I mean, you guys are the ones that got the name taken away that you grew up with, that you've, cheered on your whole life. And now it just changed in a second. Like, it changed so quick for you guys. And so for him to include you, in the video, and to see all the new names, that was really cool. I think that it's, I think the problem with it is the lagging of, okay, when is it coming out? How long is it going to take? Because I know how antsy fans get about this kind of stuff.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
and you guys are so anti, and I would be too. Like my team is the Dodgers. Okay. If they change their name, well, then what is the new name? I wanted to know tomorrow, yesterday. I wanted to know a while ago. So I, in a fan standpoint, I understand that this could be really frustrating, but there's so many legal issues with it, and they have to
so many.
So I think that as they're trying to pick a name, and as they're, trying to figure out what it should be, they're doing a great job of keeping you guys in the loop and included. The rumors are the problem. So like yesterday, those 8 names, did you see that?
Oh, yeah. I was trying to spread the gospel to people, because I was a part of this. I was trying to tell them that is not a finalist of 8 names. That is just the 8 names they decided to show on this thing. There were more than 8 names. And yes, they have 3, and they're not guaranteeing that those names or variation of them were not on that list. But as soon as someone runs with it, we need some type of answer. So we're going to try to find it. Like, what kind of, like, this is what kind of fan base we are. Me and my friend.
It's okay. And you know what? All fan bases are like this, but then it gets everyone excited. Okay, these are the names. And Jason Wright and everyone is like, cool it. Like, we're not trying to like get you guys excited, because those names could possibly not be the 3 that were chosen. And, and I loved how they like made you guys look at them and you were like, hell no, like, I don't want that as our name.
You want to hear a fun fact about those interviews that I don't know if they want me to say, but it's not nothing too personal. We were not looking up at the video boards. They were holding a piece of paper in the air and we were looking up at it.
Right. They edit it that way. No. And that's what's so fun too.
It looked like beautiful on the TV though.
I know. Oh my God. Editing magic. Like, they got it down, but no, right. I mean, but I think it's a great idea to keep you guys included while they wait out the process and go through all the legal stuff.
So as an outsider though, like as someone who doesn't have a specific lifelong tie to the team, like, what do you feel about this renaming process? And do you have anything, what do you think the team should be named?
So no one's going to like my answer on this. And I understand if people hate me, but I actually really do like the Washington football team. And I know people are like, Olivia, that's not a name, but I mean, everyone talks about it. Everyone talks about this being the team. It's Washington's team, and that's the way that it should be. And when you guys when Dan Snyder builds a new field and it's in Washington, well, the Washington, that's a Washington team. I don't know.
It doesn't sound generic to you?
Oh, completely. But I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I say it 50 times a day. So to me, it just clicks. But some of the names that I've seen, I don't know. I haven't loved.
So there wasn't an adjustment period since you just got here. There wasn't an adjustment period like for 99% of everyone else here, where we had to just tune out Redskins or Skins and we had to just Washington football team, Washington football team. That was not that for you?
No, that's not true. The first night that, they came out with, okay, this is now going to be called the Washington football team until we come up with a name. I on air said, all right, the Redskins have decided. And that was no longer the case. So I messed up once, but I mean, living in LA, I never said Redskins a lot. Like, that's, I focused on those teams out there. So I never said, maybe I said it once, but no, it wasn't a hard adjustment for me, but it was for my sports team, because it would happen a lot. So, and it still happens sometimes.
So there wasn't a big Washington football presence out there where you stayed?
Not really. No, not in California. Not a big presence.
Well, it's nice to know that we weren't a clown show everywhere. But so you've been here for we've been here for about a year now. What was a harder transition for you, coming into this climate here with everything that's going on, or jumping into NFL Red Zone with Scott Hanson? Because you did work over there for a while, right?
Yes. And he is still, one of my really good friends. I talk to him all the time. I love Scott Hanson. I think he is he's so good at his job. It's not even funny.
Great. He's
I hope to be half the person that he is on TV every single night. But, no, coming here was harder because, I left my family in California. I have some family here that I love seeing. And that's a big reason why I also took the job, is because I have family here, but I left a place that was so normal for me. I made the move to the East Coast, and that's a big, big jump for a lot of people. I've settled great and I love everyone here and I can't imagine being anywhere else. But I think moving here was the biggest jump for me, for sure.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. And especially considering the timing of when you moved during a damn global pandemic. Like, my goodness, like
Yeah.
you've been here for what, a year now, and you're just now getting around people.
Yeah. I think I just in Richmond met the beat reporters for Washington. I always
Wow.
saw them on camera. I met, Scott Turner, and I met, Rivera in person. I saw Chase Young in person for the first time. I'd not done that or seen that before this whole year. So this has been a big transition since Richmond to finally, see the Washington football team in person.
So were you like on vacation or something last week?
No, I was here. Oh, well,
okay.
for 2 days, I finally got to see my family. So for two
Okay.
days I went out and, before I'm on a long stretch right now. So
Okay.
just to go see the fam.
Oh, yeah, you got to stop by before you deploy for the season.
Yeah, exactly. There are no vacations during football season.
Oh yeah. So when you were doing like reconnaissance and research about coming here, when you got here and you see all of the stuff going on specifically surrounding women and sexual misconduct and stuff, did that give you any pause about covering the football team or any reluctance to want to be a part of it?
No. Unfortunately, this situation is in every sport. It is not just, it's not just to the Washington football team. So it's a little unfortunate. Not a little, it's a lot unfortunate that they had to go through this. And it's just, it's everywhere. So it didn't stop me from wanting to cover the team, but it was tough to, go over and cover because I'd never, done that before. And as a woman in sports, it's just, you take a step back and you grieve for those women that had to go through that, because I can't imagine that. It has not happened to me in my career and I am blessed for that. But you just think about those women. It's just so sad.
Okay. Yeah. And that actually leads me to something else. Like I know you see it, like social media can be a cesspool sometime, and people that are miserable with their lives, they just have to say some hating type shit to bring people down. What do you say to people who say things like, you have your job because you're beautiful, which you are, or you have your job because you're the daughter of a famous baseball player? What would you say to those people?
That second one is what I get most. When I actually first got this job and I announced I was coming here, more people than not said, "Oh, you're moving up pretty quickly. How are you moving up so quickly? How did you go from Palm Springs to DC? Like, how does that work?" And you have to laugh at it, because if, my news director, Scott Abraham, Keith, my producer, they're not bringing a girl in that isn't okay at her, like, doesn't know what she's doing.
Sure.
They brought me in because they thought I would fit in well here. And I do. And I love everyone here. But I get that more often than not. And I still do, which is fine.
Of course. I mean, people hate to see people happy, living their dreams and doing something better than what they're doing with their lives.
Yeah. And to be honest, I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad, because he taught me sports. He taught me the ins and outs of baseball, football, everything. Like, we are a big sports family. So in the sense of, him being a baseball player, no, that did not get me here. But in the way that he taught me how to love sports and be a part of it, that helped 100%.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you're able to embrace that. Speaking of your dad, can I get a locker room story? Can I get something for the pod? Give me something interesting.
What do you mean about my dad? I don't,
give me something. Give me something.
About when he played,
or give me a Dodger story, something you've experienced at Dodger Stadium in your
something
lifetime.
That I've experienced.
Yeah.
You know what? It's so funny. It's so funny because when I go there with my dad and it's family, like everybody at Dodger Stadium, when we sit in the same seats usually, or we're with the fans, and it's like family. I feel like that. I've always said that's my second home. All the guys are great. It's just like, it's just a family thing. And I miss going so much. It's been almost over a year since I've been back there because of COVID. So it's like a second home to me. And people don't really understand that. They're like, no. And I'm like, no, seriously. Like when we go there, it's like, hey, hi. Like, I missed you. How are you? You know? So it's fun. I miss it.
That's what's up. All right, I'm gonna give you a lightning round with a couple quick answer questions, and I'm gonna send you because it seems like you got something to do. But all right, what's your favorite genre of movie?
My favorite what movie?
Genre of movies.
Oh, genre. Oh, Marvel.
Marvel. Oh, you like Marvel? Okay, what's your favorite Marvel movie?
Oh, probably I love Black Widow, and I love Ragnarok. I'm a huge Thor fan. I'm a huge Thor fan. So my number one favorite Marvel movie is probably Ragnarok.
Ragnarok's not bad, but I promise you, you're probably the only person Marvel head in the world that says that that's their favorite Marvel movie.
Oh my God, I love it. It is okay. You have to admit that's pretty good. That was a good movie.
Hey, did you cry during Endgame?
Oh, and I can tell you exactly where I cried. I cried when Iron Man is sitting in the ship and he's like lost all this weight, and it's at the beginning of the movie, and he's talking
you cried at the beginning.
Yeah. I'm sitting next to someone and they're looking over at me and they're like, it just started. And I was like, I know, but look at him. He thinks he's dying. Like,
look.
Like falling my eyes out. I'm like,
when he snapped his fingers at the end of the movie and just started wilting away and dying. And when he said, I love you 3,000 to his daughter from the funeral, I was sobbing. I was sobbing like a woman in the theater. I'm sorry. Like me and my friends, it was funny. We all went with our women to the movie, and all of us are like sniffling sobs.
I know. I know. I cried a bunch of times, but right when the beginning, when he's sitting there and he's talking to his face or his, helmet, I'm just like sobbing. And, they're like, it just started, Olivia. I'm like, I know, but like, I love Iron Man.
Yeah, I love Marvel too. I'm a big nerd.
Yeah.
What's your favorite TV show of all time?
Friends.
Good pick.
Friends, or you know what? Ted Lasso's a close second.
Ted Lasso is really good. I actually just got in that recently.
Huge Ted Lasso fan. It's not my favorite yet because I feel like nothing can replace Friends, but Ted Lasso's up there.
I have a question though. Have you watched Game of Thrones?
Yes, every Sunday. My brother and I would get in and out in California, and we would sit down and watch every new episode.
Why is Game of Thrones not your favorite show of all time? Because how it ended.
Hated the ending, by the way. Did not love the ending. No, I love Game of Thrones. Definitely top 5. But Friends, I watch Friends almost every day.
Oh yeah, Friends
it's old school. I love it. I think it is hilarious. I think they're my friends. I grew up watching it, so it's always number 1.
You got that Khaleesi blonde hair, so I can figure you watch Game of Thrones. What's your adult beverage of choice?
Gin and tonic. Old school.
Okay. All right, Snoop Dogg.
I grew up with my dad drinking it, and then I just kind of also started drinking it.
All right, who has more on their news blooper reel, you or Scott Abraham?
Me. For sure. And when he decides to release it, you're gonna be like, damn, like, Olivia, you're not good at your job. And I'm gonna be like, I know.
I'm actually gonna have Scott on next week, so I'm gonna have to ask him about that.
Oh yeah, no, he'll say me. He'll definitely say me.
All right, 2 more, and I'm gonna let you go. What's your season prediction record-wise for the team, and over or under 2.5 quarterbacks starting for the team this year?
I think Fitzpatrick. I don't know. I think Fitzpatrick's gonna be there at least until week 10. And then I think we're going to see a change. I was right about this last year, and you can tell. I told Scott, we talked about Dwayne Haskins, and he said December. And I said, no way that guy stays here in December until December. Then a week later, he made the quarterback change. And I was like, I was right.
Oh, yeah.
And I will always bring that up to him. No, but I think there's going to be, I think Heineke gets in maybe after week 10 or 11.
Oh man, I just want to know what it feels like to go a full season with one quarterback playing, but that's not what we do in this town. It's been a QB purgatory. We've been churning them out for my whole life as a fan.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, at least you're keeping it real. To open the 2022 season, the Washington Blanks will enter week 1 with who at quarterback? I want to know what the team name's going to be and who's starting at quarterback week 1, 2022. Give it to me, Olivia.
Okay, I think it's going to be, I don't like it, but I think it's going to be the Washington Red Wolves. Is that what it was?
I mean, I personally think it's without the red, but I think a wolf is very much so in play.
I think so too. Oh, hands down. I think I liked the claw.
W claw thing.
The W. Yeah, I liked that. I thought that was cool. I'm basic, so I like the Washington football team, but whatever.
I'm basic too. I want to go howl like an idiot at a game because that sounds fun.
And quarterback, I think it is going to be someone that they get in the 2022 draft. I think if Fitzpatrick doesn't have a standout year, I think this will be his last year. And I think that they'll get their franchise quarterback in 2022.
Sounds good with me. I like the name. That's my name preference. And that's my preference for a quarterback because I don't see us getting someone like a Rodgers, Wilson. And we're not even going to touch on the Watson situation because that's a little too complicated. But
no, don't touch that. Washington does not need that situation anywhere near them.
Hell no.
Ever.
Thank you so much. I had a good time chopping it up with you today, Olivia. You can tell the people where they can find you on social media, plug your channel, everything you need to do.
I'm Olivia7 News on Twitter, and then I'm Garvey7 News on Instagram.
All right. You can check her out. I should see you tomorrow at the game if you're going to be on the field.
Please yell at me, say hello. I love speaking to all the fans. So yes, come out and talk to me all you want.
I got you. And that's going to wrap today's episode of the Rambling About Washington podcast and the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell so you can get a notification every time I post. Follow me at Rio_Robinson91 on Twitter and Instagram and at Raw Podcast W Rio. Until next time, hail to the nameless football team. Deuces.